Okay, so I am doing mapping the issue. To give you a background, last weekend I went to the beach with my family, and prior to going, my sister asked me to make sure that when I'm disciplining my daughter, although she doesn't want to give me how to discipline my daughter, that I wouldn't yell. Apparently I yell. I don't think so. I just raise my voice when I'm firm. And also that if my nephew, who's 1, and my daughter, who is almost 5, are taking baths together, that I would be around. My daughter's old enough that she knows how to bathe herself, so I always check in with her, but I'm not necessarily right there. And I don't bathe her son. So that's kind of what has happened in the past. So the issue that happened is that my daughter didn't want to walk to the beach. She wanted to be in the stroller with my nephew and was having a complete cow. I was trying to get ready. I was putting in my contacts, washing my face. I heard her crying. I checked in on with her, but my mom, who was outside with her waiting, had kind of had everything under control, and my daughter was just going to have a tantrum regardless. I tried to talk with her, but she needed to calm down, and that's how I parent. She's gonna have a tantrum. She can have a tantrum. She can act like that, but there are consequences. So I went back upstairs to finish getting ready so we'd go and let Lila calm down. And my sister got really angry with me and said that I was ruining her peaceful vacation, and that this was supposed to be their only vacation, and that I needed to go down there. And I said, I'm putting in my contacts. And she said, well, going off about how I was supposed to do this and blah, blah, blah. And really, the blah, blah, blah is me tuning her out, because at that point it made me angry. So we ended up deciding to just say, you know what, I think we're just going to leave, because I didn't have anything positive to say. And so since that issue, we haven't really talked. So we kind of need to talk about it, because as I was walking out, saying, Lila, I'm sorry, we have to go home. She said I was like a friend that I had confided in her who wouldn't handle the issue, and kind of walked away and just wasn't talking to me. And I just said, at this time, I just don't want to talk. I will talk to you at another time. Just kept it really short. So that's the issue. And so my sister is the other person. The stakeholders is my daughter, and my nephew, and my parents who were there, because ultimately this decision to walk away kind of affected them, more so my daughter. She was pretty upset that we had to leave. It's kind of hard to explain to her. We ended up doing something fun, but she, at 5, she's like, why are we leaving the beach? I love the beach. So my actions in the past probably would still have been the same, to just leave, and I probably would have said stuff I shouldn't have. I would have been really spiteful. And currently, I definitely think that her and I need to have a conversation, so that in the future, my thoughts are that we can kind of accept how each other is, because I really felt that she was trying to tell me how to parent, and it really wasn't a huge issue that was affecting her. She just didn't like to hear somebody cry, and the way that she parents is different from mine. If her child cries, she is right there, like, trying to make them not cry, and I don't always think that's a good thing, and so I don't parent that way. My wants is that for her and I to just be on the same page, and where it not be an issue if we have our kids around each other, and one person parents one way and the other person parents the other way. So standing in her position, she probably felt and saw me ignoring her, just walking away from the situation. Um, and I think in the past, I probably do that as well. Um, and currently just not talking about it. I've talked to her since, but we haven't actually talked about the issue at all. It's almost like it didn't happen, so it hasn't really been resolved. And I think her emotions are that, she's upset that I would even go, that I wouldn't acknowledge how she felt. I certainly didn't want to ruin her vacation, but I felt like that was kind of a low blow to say that I personally was ruining her vacation when children just react and they have tantrums and they're disobedient, and that's not something that I can control. I can certainly do something about it, but to kind of put her emotions and her ways and views on me and expect me to have those same is really unfair. So I think her emotions are probably just angry that I'm not acknowledging how she feels because it was her vacation. So that's probably her point of view and the way that she feels. So my development for talking to her is to talk in the wheel. I think it's best to just stick with that, the sensory data. I feel that when you do this bothers me. My thoughts is that it was really unfair for you to even say that because kids are going to have tantrums. It makes me very angry that you would put your views on me, Emily, when we just don't have the same. Currently, we're not talking about it, and in the past we aren't talking about it, but I would hope for the future that you and I can just have an even playing field and accept each other's parenting for what it is. My want for you and I is to just resolve this and be able to talk through it, because it really does affect our kids. So some things that I think could go wrong is knowing my sister and knowing myself is that she gets very defensive. So I think her defense will be, well, I had already asked you to be a certain way and prior to coming, and I would say, well, I certainly hear your wants. I wasn't trying to not be respectful of your vacation. However, I don't feel that because you were getting frustrated was the best way to handle it. And I feel that when you get frustrated, please come to me in a manner that is not defensive and offensive, instead of just getting frustrated and saying spiteful things like I'm ruining your vacation, because that is nowhere near what was really happening. I think what she'll do to throw me off track is really more stick to how she feels, and I think that I will want her to put myself in her shoes. So if I say, okay, well, if I were there and I asked you to do this and you had handled it, but your daughter, or your son was still having a tantrum, how would you feel if I said I ruined your vacation? What would you like me to do in the future when this happens? What would you like me to do when I'm frustrated and I need to walk away? I think that's probably another one too, is instead of me leaving completely, she probably would have just been like, okay, well, we need to take an hour. But me personally, when I'm frustrated, I really need to just walk away from the situation at whole, because it takes me a while to get back to feeling like I can hang out with somebody and not be frustrated. So let's see here. I guess I'll get to rehearse it. before I talk to her, and just tell her how I'm feeling, and and I'm sorry that she was frustrated, and I'm sorry if she was offended, but this is how I feel when she does things like this, or when she was telling me that I was ruining her vacation, how that made me feel, and my thoughts about it, and what I want for the future. So we will see how it goes. Thanks.